Hello, welcome back. All right, today we're going to start working on the placement of the barn and the windows and a silo. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is use that ruler. You're going to need your ruler and your pencil again today. And we're going to place a silo behind the barn. A silo is usually, well, you guys probably know what a silo is, but just in case you don't, it's where they keep grain to feed the animals in the winter. And I'm just going to use the width of my ruler, but you can slide yours over if you want a big silo, or you could slide it this way if you want a smaller silo. Okay, I'm just going to bring that down to the barn so it stops here and it stops here. I'm going to use this just to give myself a flat top, but I'm not going to keep it flat. Silos are cylinders, like a coffee cup. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a line and we're going to curve it up slightly. Just a little curve, not a big curve. And then we're going to take the ruler and we're going to make it a little taller, just a little taller. Again. We're going to do the same thing. We want to have this line parallel to this line. So we're going to do the same thing. And if you're having trouble getting your line to be the way that you want it to be, if you take your pencil and you go over this line about 4 times and then you go up, your hand is going to remember. It's called muscle memory. Your hand will remember this shape and it will copy it for you. It's pretty cool. All right. We're going to start making some of the details now. So the very first thing we're going to do, I forgot to put in this line. So take your ruler and put it on this line right here. We're going to make the top of the window where the hayloft is. Okay. Then we're going to move down a little bit. Try to keep that line. So we're going to just put the ruler at that line and move down a little bit. Okay. Try that again. Whoop. All right. And if it's crooked, we can fix it. Don't worry about it. All right. So there's my hayloft window. And I don't like this. This is too small of a door. So I'm going to actually raise it up a little bit. So I'm going to go about halfway between these two lines for myself. But you think about your door and how you want it to be. All right. Okay, that's good. All right, now I'm going to have one of my doors open. It's going to be open and it's going to be coming this way. My other barn door will be shut. So let me do that really quick. Okay, here comes the tricky part. We're going to make this door open this way, so the lines for your vanishing point are not going to work for this. What we're going to do is we're going to eyeball this. We're going to take our pencil and we're going to make a line that goes up. And then we're going to make a line that goes down. This one can follow the vanishing point, but this one cannot. All right. And then we're going to use our ruler. We want to keep the door about the same width. So look at how wide your door is and then put a line down those two. So you should have something. I might have made that crooked. We could have a crooked barn door. It could look like it needs a little help. All right, so we should have something that looks like this. The door is opening. All right, we're going to give it a little bit of thickness. So I am going to put a line underneath and a line on the top. That line right there is really important. That gives it depth, just like the lines on the side of the barn that we drew the last time. Whoop, I didn't go all the way down. Okay, do you see how that makes the door look like it's got dimension to it? All right, we're going to put some hinges on the door. We're going to put a little rectangle here and another one down here. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And we don't need the ruler for this. I'm just having fun with it. Okay. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make it look like a barn door. So barn doors have these X shapes on them sometimes. And that's what we're going to put on our barn door. So we're going to find the middle of our door, which is about here. And we're going to take our ruler and we're going to make a line that goes from the middle of the door to the corner of the door. Running out of space. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom, taking the ruler, putting it on the middle, and turning it so that it goes to the bottom. And I'm going to draw a line there too. Okay, so you can see I have part of my X. All right. This door is open, so I'm not going to put it on this one. Or should I? All right, this door is open, but we're going to put the X this way. So find the middle of the door. We're going to follow this line to find the middle of the door. Okay. And then we're going to put our X this way. Oops, that's not too good. There. Okay, and then this way. All right, very good. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to give our roof a little bit of a, I think it's called a soffit. I don't know what it's called. It's a technical term. All right, so we're just going to use the ruler to make sure our edge is straight, but we're not going to measure. We're just giving it a little bit of space at the top. And we're going to do the same thing here. It should be about the same. So you shouldn't have a big gap like this. It should be about the same. Okay, like this. And then we're going to do the same thing down the edge. Try to get the ruler straight. Parallel lines, parallel lines. Okay, parallel line. And here, do the same thing here. And here. It's kind of hard to see the way I have the camera right now. Okay, we're just doing the roof. We're not going to do down here. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some windows. We already have the guideline for the loft, the hay loft. Actually, I'm going to make mine a little bigger. I want mine to be a little bigger. I'm going to put this line here. Okay. And then I'm going to erase the lines in the middle so that I don't get confused. So we're going to erase these. All right. So I should have a line here, and then the edge lines. I'm going to drop this line down a little bit to give it a windowsill or a window frame. I'm going to do the same thing all the way around. Just going to look at it, try to keep the lines about the same. Okay. You want to give it a nice, oh, that's too close. A nice little windowsill. And a windowsill here. Okay, it's not perfect, but that's okay. We will clean it up as we get closer, and when we do our line drawing, we'll clean it up a little bit. All right, and then we're gonna put some windows on each side so the animals inside have some good ventilation. All right, I want my window to be a little lower than this. This would be my window line, but I don't like that. So I'm gonna use the top of the door, I think. No, I'm gonna drop down a little bit. But I'm gonna keep the bottom of my ruler parallel to the bottom of the barn. And go about there. And I'm gonna put a line in here and a line in here. And then I'm gonna move up, still keeping my ruler bottom parallel to the bottom of the barn. And I'm gonna, oh, let's drop it down. We'll put it down. Wait, I don't know. I don't like where those are. We'll put them up a little higher. A little higher. Parallel to the bottom of the barn. Line, line, and then drop it down a little bit. Try to keep that line parallel to the bottom of the barn. Even though you can't see it, you kind of know. Okay. All right. So I've got a lot of lines here. Might be confusing. If it's confusing, erase some of them. Okay. And you can put your barn windows wherever you want. Part of my window's covered by my door because the door is open. Remember that. Okay. Now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to have parallel line that follows the side of the barn for the edge of the window. I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to do it here. And then I'm just going to do it here. Remember, the barn door is open, so it's covering part of that window. So here is my window right here. Here's my window right here. I'm going to use the barn. I'm going to use the ruler to make, and I'm going to do double duty here so I don't have to keep moving it on this line. So I'm going to do it here and here. Just go across. And then I didn't quite make it to the end of that, but that's okay. My line was too short. That's okay. We'll fix it. And then here. If I'm going too fast for you, you can slow the video down. If you do that, those who are done can help the person next to you, or you can just put your hands in your lap quietly and wait for everyone to catch up. Okay, almost done here. Now you can put some details in your windows. Maybe you want shutters on your windows. You could do that. Maybe you want some special kind of like design at the top of your window like this. So you could put your ruler like that, parallel line to the top of the window. Draw a line here, and then put some little boxes in here. But you're going to need to use your ruler to make sure that the lines are parallel and even. So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to go this way. And same thing over here. I'll start in the middle, and I'll divide it up evenly so they're evenly spaced. Okay, so this will be like a little window in here. Okay, when we get to that point. All right, you can do that or you don't have to do it. It's up to you. All right, we're gonna work on the we're gonna work on a tree now. So next to this, kind of over here, we're gonna draw a tree. But you know, before we do that, let's clean up all of these lines back here. You won't need them for this part, and it'll help you when you do your tree. Leave your vanishing point dot and erase as many of these lines outside of the barn on this side as you can. And when you're done, put your eraser down, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, now that we have the barn done, we still have some of our lines here for our fence that we're going to do. And we're going to put a tree over here. So there are a couple different ways you can make your tree. I'm gonna find a piece of scratch paper so you can choose the way that you want to do it. Okay, so I have a piece of paper here, and I am going to use a black marker so you can see a couple different ways you can make a tree. You could do a very simple tree. This tree is just a cylinder trunk and a big kind of lollipop shape of leaves. If you want a more realistic tree, this tree would curve. It's still a cylinder. And it would branch out. And if you kind of just let your pencil, I don't know, turn and twist a little bit, you can come up with some really interesting shaped tree branches. Sometimes there's sharp angles, sometimes there's just twists and turns. The one thing is that the closer you are to the trunk, the thicker the branch is. The further you get away from the trunk, the thinner it is. A lot of times you'll get this kind of Y shape where the branches kind of branch out from each other. That sounds funny. The branches branch out. Da, 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 da. Okay. And here you can just add in some more branches. Okay, and we'll do another one over here. And then we'll connect this to the tree branch. You can put a hole in your tree, put some bark on your tree. You could do that on this tree as well. And then here, you would add some clumps around the branches of leaves. So you have leaf clumps. And when you come to a branch, you're gonna put some of the leaf clumps kind of poking out or poking under the branch. So here and here. This doesn't have to be perfect. Every tree is different and they kind of all look a little bit messy. Okay. All right, if you chose to do the simple tree, but you want to add a little bit more detail, you can add leaves in here by making little leaf shapes. They don't have to be everywhere, but this gives the viewer of your artwork extra detail to look at. The more detailed your picture is, the more interesting people will find it and the longer they will look at it. So being careful and adding detail to your painting is very nice for the people who are looking at it. Okay. I kind of made mine all go in the same direction, so let's try to, yeah, that didn't really fix it, did it? All right, well, that's okay. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of texture here on the tree and a hole here. Maybe a squirrel lives in that hole. I don't know. Okay, and the other thing you could do is you could make it an apple tree or a pear tree or a cherry tree. I'm gonna add some apples to this tree. I'll just have them hanging down and off the branches. There. All right, so you can choose how you want to do your tree. You're going to be doing it in this section here. It can go above the horizon line. That's totally fine. And we'll come back. Whoops, sorry. It can go above the horizon line. That's totally fine. And we'll come back in a couple minutes. Okay, you can see that I added my tree. All right, we're going to work on the fence now. All right, I accidentally put a black line here on the top of my tree. We're going to be going over all of this with some permanent ink, waterproof ink, before we paint it. So it's okay, I just got a head start on that. But I don't want you to do that yet, because you might find that you want to draw something and then you'll have to erase the line and it won't work. All right, so we are going to be drawing the fence on this side. It's going to go right up against the barn door, or like right behind the barn door. Blah, can't speak. All right. So we're going to make some guidelines here, parallel to the edge of the page. We're going to make a line that goes straight up and down, straight up and down, straight up and down, straight up and down, all the way to the end of the page. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our ruler, and you should still be able to see your vanishing point dot even if your tree's there. And we're going to go right above the barn door. So do you see this where the barn door connects here? The fence is going to be a little shorter than that, so we want to go up a little bit. And my ruler isn't actually long enough to reach to the edge of the page. Yours might not be either. That's okay. I will show you what to do. So you're going to take it. You're going to go right after the barn door. You're going to go down as far as you can until you run out of space on your ruler. And then you're going to slide your ruler down. And you will be fine, okay, to the end of the page. All right, we're going to get rid of this line here, these little lines here. So erase those if you have them. I just went too far, that's all. All right, and what we're going to do to make sure that we don't make any mistakes is we're going to color in every other one just very lightly with your pencil. So I'm going to do one here, one here, one here. Okay, if you have more, then go ahead and do that now, and we'll come back in a second. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take the ruler, can't think, we're going to make sure it's parallel to the bottom of the page, and just like we did with the barn door, we're going to put a little line going the other way at the end and corner of each of the fence posts. Oops. Okay. And then you can decide how you want the top of your fence post. You can make your fence post pointed if you want to, like this. Or you could leave your fence post the way it is. If you do, just a piece of wood. If you do that, use another vanishing point to help you get the top correct. So here's the top of mine. And I'm just going to make another straight line. And then we have a little bit of space at the top that you can see, even because you're standing up. Remember, we're not sitting down, so we can see a little bit of the top of that fence post. All right, and I still have a little bit too much room here, so I'm going to add one more fence post here. And then I'm going to use the lines that I used before, and my fence post is going to go off the page, so this is my fence post right here. All right, and then you can add a little fence in the back. Now, because it's further back, it's going to be smaller than this fence, much smaller. So you can use the guideline of the window that we used before. Draw a line, and they're going to be very small. So I'm just going to do a stick and move it over just a tiny bit, and another stick, and a stick, and a stick, okay, like that. All right. We're going to make sure that they're the same on the bottom and the same on the top. Maybe like that. Okay. And then maybe another one here. Another one going off the page. All right. And then I'm going to get rid of these lines and this line down here. Okay. All right, now fence posts have rails that they're attached to, so we're going to do that really quick. We're going to use our guideline up here. We're going to make a line that goes like this in between the fence posts. That's another reason why we colored them. You don't need it to go over the fence post. It's going to go behind it. Okay, and then we're going to do one more toward the bottom. Okay, and we already have the bottom. Well, I guess we could do one more. We could do one more. It should be a little bit above the bottom. So I'll do it here. Here. Whoop. I moved. Here and here. Okay. And that's your fence post. And then this fence post back here, we'll just draw another line next to it and one here. All right. And that's done. Okay. Now comes the fun part. So I have a few doodles here. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. I have a few doodles here that can show you some ideas of other things you can add to your farm. I'm going to use this doodle to add a weathercock to the top of my barn. So I'm going to go up here to the middle. And I'm going to add this curved line on the bottom that's going to go up. It's got a little bump here for his little chicken waddle, his beak, his head, curve down, and then we're going to give him a really big foofy tail feathers. Okay, and his little coxcomb at the top. And we'll paint him in so he doesn't look so weird later. Okay. You can add a cow inside your barn. You could actually put a wall here, like a stall. That would be pretty simple to do. All we would need to do is add another line on the inside of the barn, like this, going from the floor up. So when you walk into the barn, you don't walk into the stall. And your stall could just be made out of wood. You don't have to make fence lines. You do want these to be kind of parallel to this line right here. Okay, and that's all the time we have for today. You're going to work on this on your own now. If you need to watch the video again and pause it, go ahead, and then the teachers will bring me around to help you if you need help. Thanks for your attention. Bye.